Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make these lovely acetate easel cards. They are super easy, but look highly effective. So we've got quite an easy sentiment on the front. The black's plain so you can write on it, and then we pop up and we've got our little scene inside. So the one that I'm going to do today is going to be a baby card. They do fold flat and it will go in a 6x6 envelope. And if you haven't already, can I please ask that you like and subscribe to my channel? Thank you. So the card base itself is super easy. We're going to start with a piece of card which we have cut to 11 inch by 5.5 inch. You're going to turn it onto its long side and we're going to score that at 5.5. Fold and burnish. And then we've got a piece of acetate, which is 6.5 inch by 5.5 inch. And we're going to just put that onto the long side and again score that at 5.5. Fold that over your best that you can. I know that acetate doesn't always fold the easiest. There we go. So we're going to glue the acetate onto the top side of the inside of the card. To do that, I'm just going to use a liquid glue. Use tape if you like. My tape needs, I need to order some. The stuff that I've got isn't fabulous, and it just won't stand up to transit, I know it won't. So liquid glue, quite generous with it. And then I'm just going to bob that so that score line is in line with the end of the card. Really important that you line it up because you want your card panel to be the same size as the card panel. You want your acetate panel to be the same size as your card panel underneath. And I'm just going to put that to one side to dry for a minute or two. So that is it. That is actually your card fold completed. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to decorate the card base itself and leave the acetate for now, purely so that I'm not knocking the stuff off the acetate as I go along. So to decorate my inside, I have taken some mirror card. The mirror card measures 5.25 by 5.25, and then this blue paper is from an old Hunky Dory set. It's a couple of years old now. I think it's called Foxy Friends, and they measure 5 by 5, and I've got 2 of those, and these are just going to go inside. So I'm again just going to use some liquid glue. I like liquid glue because it enables me to position it again if I've got it slightly wonky, which is pretty much on a regular basis for me. So move that down. So make sure my flags are pointing downwards. And I'm just going to bob that in. Now I did actually want to do the same patterned paper on the outside as well, but in true Claire fashion, I haven't got enough of the paper left, so I've gone for a different colour, but will coordinate it with some of the die cut pieces inside. I then cut myself a panel, which again using mirror card. The mirror card is 5.5 by 1.5. And the patterned paper is 5.25 by 1.25. This is the pattern paper that I've used on the front, and that's just how I'm going to tie it in. Again, I'm just going to liquid glue this on, and this is going to give me the part that will stop the acetate from jumping forward once it's up. It will, I promise. There we go, just make that sure that's straight. And onto this panel, I'm also going to put my sentiment, which says Precious Little One, and it is from the Made to Surprise Baby Stamp and Die set. This is what I've used the dies from as well, which we're going to decorate with. I've heat embossed it in a white, fussy cut round it, bobbed it on some sparkly card and fussy cut around that, and then I've just bobbed it on some foam tape. And again, that bit of dimension will just mean that that acetate's got nowhere to go if it tries to push forward. And also on here, I've die cut the little baby grow, the little heart I've cut using the paper behind. So again, just liquid glue. The paper felt a little bit flimsy to be holding the die, so I glued it onto some sparkle card beforehand. And I was questioning whether or not I just wanted to keep that little love heart as the sparkle, but I think I want it as the dark blue for the contrast again. So put the blue in. And that is basically the inside done now, apart from the acetate panel. So I'm just going to flip it over while that dries and we'll do the front. So for the front of the card panel, I've got the darker card. Glue that on, and then I am going to put a sentiment and things on the front as well. Just because although the beauty is the inside of the card, you don't want them to take out a plain card out the envelope. It doesn't feel right. And on this piece here, I'm just going to glue a piece of exact same measurements, but just a piece of plain so that you can write your little message. So I've got a die which I've cut out, which is a Time for Tea Designs, and it just says celebrate. And I was just going to have it on there, but I felt that that didn't look quite right. So I've cut a luggage tag die, and we'll bob it on there, bob that on, and then I think we'll probably end up decorating this with some Nouveau drops as well. But we will do that once we've got the inside panel finished. And I've also die cut the teddy bear out of the Made to Surprise set to go on the front. So the teddy bear I've cut using the same coloured paper as the celebrate, and I'm just going to put him back together. Do keep all the bits for him in a little ball because I have cut him twice now and I've got bits everywhere. He looks lovely once he's together though. So I did think about possibly cutting his eyes out of black, but I think I might just leave them with the blue underneath. So let's flip it over and we can look at this acetate panel now. Now to do this, I have cut myself some of the blocks out of the Made to Surprise set, and it will say baby. Now, when you cut them, it cuts them into two different pieces. Now, with it being an acetate, I thought I'd end up with that looking really messy and with glue everywhere. So what I've done is I've cut myself a square, which is 1 1/4 by 1 1/4, and then I've just glued these onto the square. So I'll show you what I mean. Just glue the lettered part on, and then put the trim around the edge afterwards, and it'll just make it a little bit easier when we come to glue it all together. Otherwise I worry that I will ruin that panel. It's so warm in here today, my glue is literally drying as it's coming out. And I daren't open the door because somebody's cutting the lawn, so you won't hear me. I've had an awful cold and no voice for about 3 weeks now. We're getting there, it's nearly back. So you see what I mean? That's just much easier to deal with them. And it's just a case of fiddling with these till you get them how you want them. It is just wide enough that if you wanted to do it quite uniform, you could. However, I want it higgledy-piggledy. So for the Nouveau drops, I'm going to use two. I'm going to use Silver Moon Dust, and I'm going to use a stone drop, which is Belgian Bluestone. So as I just get those last Nouveau drops on, I want to take the opportunity to say thank you ever so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that, and please like and subscribe.